Hamilton, Neion, Carlisle, and Foster gets the start. Rod Smith with Bell on the brink of a 1,000-yard season. Johnson, the fullback, Alexander, the tight end, and the big playmaker, Javon Walker. The Broncos snapping a 4-game losing streak last week. Down in the desert, a 37-20 win over the Cardinals. And Cutler struck early in that game on their 3rd snap with a long heave and a score, and was brilliant most of the day. Here he comes out throwing and firing, and he's picked off. He is picked off at midfield by Dexter Jackson. Tatum Bell doesn't make much of an effort on a tackle, and finally Dexter Jackson is bumped out at about the 5-yard line.
What happens on this play, Jim? Jay Cutler is too late with the football. The receiver's open, but that little bit of hesitation is enough for Dexter Jackson to read the eyes of the young quarterback, come over and get the easy interception.
Finally, Neion bumps him out, 46-yard return.
I told you.
We welcome those of you who just saw Tennessee win again at Buffalo. First play of the game here, an interception by the Bengals. The run back by Dexter Jackson to the 5, the first snap for the Bengals. Palmer's throw through the fingertips of Rudy Johnson. Jim Nantz and Phil Simms here in Denver. These two teams at 8-6 on the year, a pivotal tilt on the next to last week of the regular season. Here's the first play of the game, Phil.
Well, Jim, I've already said it. Jay Cutler just looked too long to his left. He hesitates, and when you reload as a quarterback in the National Football League, it lets the defenders who are free, which was Dexter Jackson, get into play, and he makes the easy interception.
So it's 2nd and goal for the Bengals, looking for the early strike off the takeaway. Rudy Johnson, though, is backed up 2 yards by John Lynch. Lynch, fresh off another Pro Bowl nod this week, the 8th of his decorated career.
Well, you look at this game to start, the rookie quarterback making the mistake, the crowd's into it, playoff atmosphere, the emotions, everything can stay with the Denver Broncos if they stop the Cincinnati Bengals right here and hold them to a field goal.
3rd and goal. Palmer's pass, a wide open, Houshmandzadeh over his head and picked off by Darren Williams in the end zone. Two picks in the first 72 seconds. A red zone turnover, and the Broncos will take over at the 20. Darren Williams inactive last week with a calf and shoulder injury, but back today with a pick in the end zone. It was really more of an errant throw than it was any kind of play by Darren Williams, who was just in the back of the end zone, and Houshmandzadeh was overthrown by Palmer. Third interception. Look at that, Phil, in his last 7 red zone throws.
Jim, you were right. Houshmandzadeh wide open, nobody covering him. Early in the game, the football gets away from you sometimes.
Even Bell. That's again the 2nd play of the game for the Broncos after getting picked on their first one.
The Bengals, what they do, they give 3 receivers to one side. Houshmandzadeh on the inside is going to come up in the middle of the other 2. The tight end goes inside, and they split the difference. You could see how wide open he is. It's a play the Pittsburgh Steelers run all the time going in to score. Carson Palmer, second throw of the game, nervous, overthrows.
2nd down and 8, and Cutler's pass broken up by Moreeeee Williams, who was riding the back, it appeared, of Javon Walker, but no flag. 3rd down on the way. The Cincinnati defense has allowed more passing yards than any team in the league. Robinson, Adams, Thornton. Justin Smith has 7 sacks on the year. Ginty and Simmons and Johnson, their top tackler. And the secondary, the rookie, Joseph. Jackson with the pick on the game's first play. Williams with the breakup a moment ago, and Torrey James, the former Bronco draft pick.
Right over there. Right over there.
Third down and 8. And Cutler goes to the gun. Comes the blitz. It's picked up. Pass to another rookie. It's Marshall for the first down. Coverage by Torrey James, but Brandon Marshall, by way of Central Florida, picks up 14 and a first.
First off, the Cincinnati Bengals show a blitz. They come with an extra rusher. Very good job by the Broncos picking it up. And more, Jim, we saw it last week. Brandon Marshall, the rookie, Jay Cutler having confidence in him, knowing to the outside. One-on-one, Brandon Marshall wins the battle, and a very nice throw from Jay Cutler.
Steven Alexander really helping pick up the blitz, the tight end. Lined up on that left side. Scheffler, the rookie, on the right. First down, and Cutler again wanting to throw, and he is dragged down by rookie Domata Pecco out of Michigan State. A loss of 6.
Well, what happens? The protection, it's not great, but it's good enough initially. And Jay Cutler wants to throw the football. His first 2 receivers to his left, they're covered, not able to quicken find the third receiver fast enough. It results in a sack.
Pecco, the youngest Bengal, just turned 22 a month ago, comes in with the first full sack of his rookie season. So second down snap comes from the 30. Second down and 16. Back to the ground, and Bell scoots ahead for a quick 4 into the arms of Justin Smith. Take us through it, Phil.
Well, let's talk about the Denver offense. It's winter wonderland, and Mike Shanahan said after last week's victory, his young quarterback in the offense playing with lots of confidence. For the Bengals defense, all I want for Christmas. Hey, they want to bounce back after last week's game against the Indianapolis Colts. Show some pride, be professionals, and turn it around.
There's Marvin Lewis. He probably doesn't know it, but with the early results, with Jacksonville losing and Buffalo losing, a Cincinnati win today would put the Bengals in the playoffs. They can clinch today with a win. There's the pass behind Walker. Well guarded anyway by O'Neal. So they'll bring out Ernster to punt.
Well, the one thing I'm seeing early in this game is that the Cincinnati Bengals defense, they are going to watch Javon Walker. The free defender is moving towards him no matter where he is on the field. So they don't want to see him get the big plays they got last week against the Arizona Cardinals.
You saw Keywan Ratliff inching up. Now he'll back up a little bit to respect the leg of Ernster plus the altitude. The kick end over end, and it's going to bounce in there near the 30. And a favorable Bronco bounce it is. Coming to rest at the 24. 41 yards in all. There's Chad Johnson. Pro Bowler named again this week. Scoreless in Denver.
There was a moment there where I thought, that was a pretty doggone good throw. I can probably play.
My sophomore year against Thomasville, I only got 3 balls. And those 3 went for 144 yards and 2 touchdowns. I knew right then that I was on my way.
And the stadium was rocking, it was packed. Got a total of 400-some yards. That's when I knew.
When people stopped calling me Archie's boy and started calling me Peyton, that was a big moment for me.
It's no fun when you can't sleep. Time seems to stand still. You just can't switch off. And it feels like you're the only one. But you don't have to put up with it. Nitol can help you drift off into a natural sleep. So you wake up refreshed in the morning. Good mornings follow a good Nitol.
Am I getting number that truck that hit him?
are back here at Invesco Field, and again, from the results today, the Steelers and the Bills eliminated, and that Jacksonville loss also favorable for the Bengals. And if they win here today, Cincinnati would clinch a playoff berth. Denver, with the win, cannot clinch because Kansas City won last night. And there's some tiebreaker issues with them with another week to go.
Offside, 92, defense unabated to the quarterback, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Walt Coleman, our referee today. San Diego clinching a first-round bye by virtue of the early results. Baltimore moving up to the 2 line right now. 1st and 5 for the Bengals. And that is a nice piece of running by Rudy Johnson for 8 yards. Carson Palmer making the Pro Bowl again this week. Quite a compliment to him, coming back from that shredded knee last January to start every game this season. The offensive line, a big part of the story this year. Now 26 games lost to starters to injury. And they put the no huddle in effect, and Rudy Johnson has the first down, plowing ahead for another 8. Running into Ebenezer Ekubon. The Denver defense with Lang, Myers, Warren, and Ekubon. Wilson, a starter for the Pro Bowl, gets the nod over Zach Thomas and Ray Lewis. And Champ Bailey, in many minds, maybe the defensive player of the year with 8 interceptions. That's actually was a gain of 7. It's 2nd down and 3. The 8-yard run by Rudy Johnson, the previous play, was on a 1st and 5. So now with just 3 yards needed, it's Rudy Johnson again with another first down run.
Up front so far on these running plays, this Cincinnati Bengals offensive line, they are winning the battle big time. Look at the offensive linemen. The defenders cannot get off the blocks. That's when that's a sure sign of telling you they're engaging. They have the athletic ability to keep the feet moving and not let the defensive player get away.
You saw Eric Guychek. He's had to go most of the season with Rich Bram out with injury, and Rudy Johnson, wow, is he walloped by John Lynch. Picked up 5, and then Lynch knocked him down with aggression.
John Lynch, yeah, it's a great hit. The problem is it's 5 yards down the field again, Jim. And the Denver Broncos playing extremely safe, trying not to give up the big pass play to the wide receivers. There's 3 wide receivers in there now for the Bengals. That's why the running lanes are so big for the Bengals. 4
straight running plays to Rudy Johnson, now backed up by a pass, and they work on Champ Bailey, and they get the completion to Chris Henry. We've got an update. James Brown, take it away.
Hey, Jim and Phil, here is how the Rams kept their playoff hopes alive. Tied, of course, in OT. Steven Jackson, 21 yards to pay dirt, 150 yards rushing, 102 receiving for Jackson. Back to Jim and Phil.
So a wild one there. Thank you, JB. Rams over the Redskins. And now it's back to Rudy Johnson, who moves it ahead inside the 30. And again, it's Lynch coming up to make the hit after a carry of 3 yards. That's what we were talking about. The Bengals in with a win today. Denver has to go win-win. Controls its own destiny. Could also go win-loss and get some favorable outcomes next week. But they'd like to just go ahead and take care of business themselves. And Dumerville forces the fumble. And it's recovered by Steinbach. But that was the rookie Elvis Dumerville along with Kennard Lang, who got in the face of Carson Palmer.
Elvis Dumerville on the outside, number 92. It's all about the start. He gets the quick jump. Whitworth not able to get the angle to stop him from getting around the corner. Carson Palmer doesn't feel the pressure, and he causes the fumble.
So Lang and Dumerville, who went to college, there he is down the road from Cincinnati in Louisville, where he was the Big East Defender of the Year last year. 3rd down and 20, and Palmer's pass hits right in the chest. Chad Johnson.
Not many teams in the NFL on 3rd and 20 are able to protect the quarterback and then let a receiver get down the field wide open and maybe get enough yardage for the first down. The Bengals can, because they can protect the quarterback can get it down the field, and of course the speed of the wide receivers.
Some blown chances early by the Bengals. The interception on the overthrow, and then the drop there by Chad Johnson. Cox was ready to come up and hit him and try to keep him a yard shy of the first, but still would have been in field goal range at the very least. Larson's punt, a beauty, settling down at the 5-yard line. That's exactly what they asked of him. Palmer on target this time, but Chad Johnson not able to make the play.
TV Digital ist da. 14 Tage volles Programm. Top-Übersichtlichkeit im großen Format. Neu und einzigartig in Deutschland. Komplett mit allen Programmen von Kabel Digital Home. Plus ARD, RTL, Pro7 und Co. in einem Heft. Alle 31 Kabel Deutschland Programme mit Bewertung und allen Sendeterminen. Bestellen Sie jetzt Ihr Abo unter 080 5 99 77 44. TV Digital, das ist die Zukunft.
Technology has made your morning easier. Why not your shave? The Philips Smart Touch XL is designed to shave more with every touch, with 3 shaving rings in each shaving head. And because it pivots to stay on your face and neck, even tricky hairs are cut. Simplicity is making every stroke count.
Can't get up for this kind of game. Lord have mercy. Might not have a heartbeat.
It was Hart that carried the Steelers through a playoff run unlike any in NFL history.
Here we go. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Mission accomplished, and it's on to Detroit. As the 6th seed, the Steelers take the bumpy road to the Super Bowl. But they, to their credit, have turned the bumpy road into a road of glory.
If you're looking for some clarity to the NFL playoff scenarios, it's all there. CBS Sportsline has it up to the minute. And a special playoff insider blog all online right now, cbssportsline.com. Beginning this drive from the 7-yard line. And Tatum Bell stutter steps and drives the pile for a yard, maybe 2. Well, Chad Johnson, he got a icy stare from his quarterback after the drop ball, and a few words there with coaching staff.
And Marvin Lewis later says, you know, go sit down. Hey, a disgruntled wide receiver on the sideline. Now, that's a sight that we have not seen before, right?
That's right. Yeah, only every game. Average starting field position, you saw it worst in the league. This is the 26th drive of the year, beginning inside their own 10. By far and away the worst in the league. 13 of those 26 were inside the 5, also a league high. Just another yard for Bell.
You know, Jim, you know what it tells me, too? That they're not moving the ball sometimes, they kick it away, but they're playing a bend but don't break defense. It's great. It keeps the other team out of the end zone a lot of times, or it makes them kick field goals. But the problem is it almost always backs up your offense, and those statistics show it. The Broncos are overcoming more yards, or have to, than anybody else in the NFL.
It's a 3rd and 7 for Cutler and company from the 10-yard line. With pressure, Cutler falls. Where are they going to give him the forward progress? Outside the end zone. Marking it at the 1. That was Dexter Jackson coming up with Pecco, who's in the backfield for a 2nd time in this quarter.
A very aggressive look by the Cincinnati Bengals. Dexter Jackson up there near the line of scrimmage like a linebacker on the blitz. But if there is a strength of the Bengals defense, they can rush the passer. So that's what they want to do. Of course, every team. But if they can make Jay Cutler drop back enough, they think they can confuse him. But most importantly, they think they can beat Denver's offensive line.
Jackson with a pick and a half a sack. Pecco with a sack and a half as they combine for that one. And Ernster with a flag thrown all the way back at midfield. The delay in game will cost him inches.
Delay of the game. Offense half the distance to the goal. 4th down.
And Ernster will feel the presence of the Bengal lineman even that much more so, as it's a back of the end zone opportunity here for the Bengals to make a play. Mike Leach will snap it back. Just barely getting that one away, and it's a short one taken on the run. Ratliff inside the 30, inside the 20, and down at the 18.
Punt was tipped. That's why there was no roughing the punter. You could hear it even from up here, Jim.
You know, just barely grazed the fingertips there of the backup tight end, Tony Stewart.
He definitely hit the football. What a difference, well, 6 days make. The Bengals being aggressive, special teams, playoff atmosphere, but also being very aggressive so far on the defensive side.
Stewart making some plays on special teams. He recovered a muff punt Monday night that led to the Bengals' only touchdown. And here he gets credit for a partial block and sets up the Bengal offense at the 18. Palmer, sideline route wide of the mark, looking for Chad Johnson. Champ Bailey on the coverage. And Phil, your spotlight for Cincinnati.
Well, for the Bengals, it's stars and stripes. And Marvin Lewis said in big games, you got to give your stars a chance to win it or lose it. For the Denver defense, it's a fine line. The defensive line for the Broncos, they need to be great. Stopping the run and also rushing the passer so they don't have to cheat, blitzing and get guys near the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 10, and Palmer goes to the end zone, and the ball is knocked out. It's ruled incomplete. Lynch with the big hit. Bailey's taken off, but it's of no use. Chris Henry was pancaked by John Lynch, who has had some bruising blows delivered here in this first quarter.
That was a tremendous case in point, Jim, of a safety with experience. When he saw the pump fake to the right, he took off running, and that's what stopped the touchdown. John Lynch's anticipation and, of course, his toughness making the big hit.
Lynch making big plays. Glenn Holt is the 4th receiver for the Bengals on 3rd and 10. Shuffle pass. It goes to Watson. Watson makes the move for the first down, hurdling inside the 10 and down to the 8. And Holt, I mentioned, came in as the extra receiver. He threw a pivotal block that sprung him for 12.
When I see plays like this, these are coach plays. About 5 times a game, you're a quarterback, you got to sit out there and go, send me in something that's just where the coaching's going to get it done, and that's what that was. The right time to run the shuffle pass, caught the defense off guard. Easy for Carson Palmer to take advantage of it.
Timeout called by Cincinnati. 3:50 to go, first quarter, and Cincinnati 1st and goal to go.
Now this is my size net.
This is my backhand.
I saw it coming. This is my other team. No boys allowed.
That's my shoe.
Here we go. This is my rink.
This is my walk home from the arena.
Haagen-Dazs is so thick and creamy. That's why it melts so slowly in your mouth. So the deliciously rich experience lasts and lasts and lasts. And why not try Bailey's ice cream from Haagen-Dazs? The perfect combination. Haagen-Dazs, the longer lasting pleasure.
5'9" Steve Smith has emerged as the NFL's premier scoring threat. Don't believe me? He'll tell you.
If you see this ugly face, that means I scored.
Oh my goodness, I don't even know what to tell you about Steve Smith. Steve Smith, touchdown! Taking candy from a baby. I know somebody better pour water on that man.
Talk about a game-changing player.
You see me again.
Jim Nantz and Phil Simms on hand. It got heated. Houshmandzadeh and Palmer. Actually, just Houshmandzadeh. Palmer playing it cool. And then coming back to the huddle. This is after Marvin Lewis came over and tried to get Housh to settle down. Palmer a little tap on the head. Let's move on, guys.
Well, they've had plenty of practice at it, so they can have an argument and get over it quick.
First and goal at the 6. Sweep left. Rudy Johnson finds it, gets it. Touchdown, Cincinnati. And Houshmandzadeh threw a big block on that left side. Levi Jones was in, too, for the first time in a few weeks. There's Big 76 helping out, too.
Yeah, third series. The Bengals said, we'll bring him in. It's not that he blocked anybody, Jim, but you saw Darren Williams going, hey, that's a big man.
Yeah, he is coming at me.
Let me give some ground, and you give a little bit of ground down there, and a good running back breaks the arm tackle for the touchdown.
Rudy Johnson has just tied Corey Dillon for second most rushing touchdowns in Cincinnati history. Pete Johnson, the all-time leader. Graham with the extra point try. And good job of holding by Kyle Larson, getting it down. And Rudy Johnson runs it in for his 12th touchdown of the year.
So you all right, Jake?
Well, I don't think Mum's been acting a bit weird.
I wouldn't worry about it, son.
Only Actimel contains a good bacteria LC Immunitas. Try it and see if you feel the difference. They're none.
Druids Glen Golf Resort, voted European Golf Resort of the Year 2005. A golfer's paradise in the Garden of Ireland. 2 championship golf courses of contrasting design. The luxurious Marriott Druids Glen Hotel and Country Club, featuring 148 specially appointed guest rooms and a magnificent spa and health centre. Visit our driving range, pro shops, golf academy, and get your golfing tips or tuition from our resident PGA teaching professional.
Live NHL continues on NASN with an exclusive doubleheader from across the conferences. First up, it's to the east where the Canadiens head to Washington to take on the Capitals. Then Calgary flame up as they enter General Motors Place in Vancouver to battle the Canucks. A live NHL doubleheader this Wednesday night only on NASN.
Hi, I'm Ocho Cinco of the Cincinnati Bengals.
I'm Carson Palmer. And I'm Justin Smith.
From our Bengal family to yours, we want to wish each and every one of you a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
And Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to all of you from all of us at CBS. Chad Johnson. Fascinating matchup most of the day, although we saw one switch off on that last series. Champ Bailey, Chad Johnson.
Well, they got a history, Jim, right? A couple years ago, it was Chad Johnson winning that matchup decisively. But Champ Bailey has been, without question in my mind, the best corner in football for the last year and a half.
Well, Rudy Johnson has 12 touchdowns for his 3rd consecutive season. And the Bengals Able to drive this kick to Morgan midway through the end zone. Friday, CBS Sports heats up the bowl season. Oregon State and Missouri down in El Paso for the Brute Sun Bowl. That's a great tradition through the years on CBS. The Sun Bowl will have it for you, as well as the Gator Bowl on New Year's Day. West Virginia takes on Georgia Tech in the Toyota Gator Bowl. All the bowl action coming up this week on CBS. The Sun and the Gator Bowls right here. Mike Cutler takes the middle with Tatum Bell for about 4. This is TJ trying to maybe explain a little bit about what he was so hot about.
Hugh Jackson, wide receiver coach. But here's what's funny. They laugh. These two are always together. TJ Hushmanzada and Chad Johnson. Jim, yes, they are a little high maintenance, but they are worth it. Down deep, they're good people. They have good relationships with the players.
2nd down and 6, and they get to Cutler again. Another sack. This time Brian Robinson and Sam Adams may also get credit for the sack.
Well, everybody's probably sitting at home, if you're a Bengals fan, going, well, where was this last week? Well, this is not the Indianapolis Colts offense. So you have a whole different style. It's a different matchup, and you have a rookie quarterback. And I've already said the defensive line, they can rush the passer when they get in good situations. That's the strength of this defense. And so far, Chuck Bresnahan, they are being aggressive on the defensive side compared to what they did Monday night.
What a way to get into the head of the rookie quarterback. 7 dropbacks, 3 sacks, and a pick. Cutler this time dumping it to Marshall. Makes 1 move and a miss. And drives to within about 3 of the first. That's going to bring out Ernster again.
Just like you saw the Colts get just beat up 2 weeks ago against the run. They rallied up and did a good job last week. Well, the same thing for this Bengals defense. Really got it handed to them by the Colts. They've heard it all week, and we said at the beginning, it's about pride. Be aggressive, show your pride, be a pro, and so far they've done it. They've come out angry.
So Ernster again to Ratliff, whose big return set him up at the 18 the last time on a touchdown drive. Ratliff get a chance at another return. And gets by the first wave of coverage, down at the 36, 42 yards, 5-yard return. Here's James Brown.
Hey, Jim, as you and Phil know, on the NFC side of the house, San Francisco still with playoff hopes, but right now trailing Arizona after Marcel Shipp dashes to the end zone at 5-yarder, makes it 10-3. Arizona in the second. Back to Jim Nance and Phil Simms.
All right, thank you, JB. Yeah, that NFC West with Seattle stumbling after its win here a few weeks back ago. Back-to-back losses for the Seahawks, taking on San Diego this afternoon. Keeping the Rams, keeping the 49ers in it. And the 49ers coming here next week to take on Denver. Play action, Palmer threatening to go long. Pulls it back in and now goes to the safety valve, but it's wide of Rudy Johnson just as well.
Well, it's interesting listening to teams every time they play the Denver Broncos. And we hear it, Jim. But some teams say, we are not going to throw at Champ Bailey. Now I'm watching Champ Bailey matching up against Chad Johnson. But the Bengals, they did not say it. He goes, hey, he's good. Carson Palmer said, but you know, our guys are pretty good too. Their receiving corps, they're not afraid to go at him one-on-one.
Well, we had Matt Leinart telling us last week he wanted to throw at him, and he got picked twice by Bailey. Just a 1-yard run, that's it, as Dominique Foxworth comes up to plug the middle.
You know what I wanted to say to Matt Leinart when he said that to us last week?
You might want to rethink that.
Why don't you wait a couple years until you really get into this league and get seasoned a little bit? And Champ Bailey took advantage of him really both times. Jumped one route and read his eyes on the other.
Watson in the backfield on 3rd down and 9. Bailey at the bottom of the screen, one-on-one with Chad Johnson. And they're going that way. And the pass is picked by Bailey. They challenged him and they paid for it. And Bailey runs it back to the 37.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Why would you throw at the best corner in football? Champ Bailey ran the route on the outside, bottom of your screen. He beats Chad Johnson to the inside to make the catch. And you saw what he did. Champ Bailey keeps the receiver on his hip, and he watches the quarterback the whole time. And everybody talks about it. He has the speed and the flexibility to make quick moves, and that's why he can do both. Feel the receiver, but watch the quarterback. That leads to a lot of interceptions.
Wonderful.